The tales of David's mighty men has stood out as a testament of valor, loyalty, and extraordinary prowess. These were not mere soldiers, they were the epitome of heroism. Heralded for their valor and skill in battle, David's mighty men were a unique group of fighting men who came to David in the caves of Adullam after he fled from King Saul. There, the man who had gone from family shepherd to giant slayer to military commander to hunted criminal had a new task. Once again, he became a shepherd to many in Israel, and even some from beyond. The author of the book of Samuel tells us that in addition to David's brothers and father joining him, everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him, and he became captain over them. Now there were about 400 men with him. Some were members of David's family. Others had fought alongside him in the army. Many more were ruffians, mercenaries, and outsiders to Israel. Alone, they were notorious killers. Together, they became the land's most feared and effective fighting force, proving themselves loyal to David for the rest of his life. When David's own son Absalom tried to usurp his father's throne, one of David's advisors, Hushai, warned Absalom not to attack his father and the small contingent who'd fled with him. "You know your father and his men, that they are mighty men and they are fierce, like a bear robbed of her cubs in the field, and your father is an expert in warfare." Hushai would then say of the mighty men, "Even the one who is valiant, whose heart is like the heart of a lion, will completely lose heart. For all Israel knows that your father is a mighty man, and those who are with him are valiant men." By the time Absalom laid claim to the throne, the reputation of David's mighty men was well established and well earned. What were some great accomplishments by David's mighty men? The Old Testament includes several stories about David's mighty men and what made them such heroes and legends of Israel. 3 of David's mighty men are heralded above the rest for their exceptional courage and fighting prowess. They are: 1. Josheb-Basshebeth. Jashobeam, the chief of the captains, was nicknamed Adino the Eznite because he had slain 800 men with his spear at one time. 2. Eleazar. He remained with David at Pasdammim to fight the Philistines when the men of Israel had retreated. It is said that Eleazar fought the Philistines until his hand grew weary. However, he never let go of his sword, securing a victory by the Lord's hand. 1 Chronicles 11 verses 12 to 14. 3. Shammah, tasked with defending a field of lentils that the Philistines intended to raid. Rather than flee, as the rest of Israel had done, Shammah stood his ground, defeating the Philistines. What lessons can we learn from David's mighty men? There is no denying that David's mighty men were a formidable group of loyal but dangerous men. Born for their time, these men nonetheless have a lot to teach the Christian man of God even today. For example, although David first became famous for his battle with the giant Goliath, he would not be the only giant slayer in Israel. As it turns out, the original giant slayer and leader of the mighty men inspired men like Abishai, Elhanan, Sibbecai, Shammah, and Benaiah to step forward and perform similar feats. David's courage inspired courage in those who followed him. Sadly, the opposite was also true, as evident from the armies of Israel. The mighty men did not run from the fight, they ran toward it. They saw victory where others saw defeat, and seized opportunities where others hesitated or cowered in fear. David's mighty men may not have been large in number. Still, their courage, loyalty, and willingness to stand their ground, jump into snowy pits, and challenge giants were enough to win the day. We should never, therefore, underestimate just how much a small but committed group of valiant men can achieve. Furthermore, though David had fled the palace of King Saul frightened and alone, he would not remain alone forever. God provided the help he needed through other men born of the same courage. As we often see, mighty men make other men mightier. However, the Bible reminds us that strength or skill does not ultimately make a man mighty. In their time with the man after God's own heart, many of these warriors also became mighty in their knowledge and understanding of the God he served.